What's up, guys? It's John Muscarello from Side Hustle Experiment. If you're new to the channel, I am a six-figure Amazon seller. I sell mainly books and media. And today I am going to cover one of the biggest myths about reselling. If you're into reselling and like reselling topics and want help and tips, please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. It means the world to me. So let's get into the biggest myth. So the biggest myth about reselling, I actually saw a post from Zach Rosehaus, I think, or Rosa, on Instagram. And he, I think today, or was supposed to release a video today, or was going to make a video about basically, he said there are a lot of TikTokers out there that are telling people they could go to Marshall's and make like $400 an hour. And basically it's total bullshit. And so yeah, I thought that was super interesting. And then today, I had someone who I met locally. They want to get into reselling, and they actually came to my warehouse, and I was showing them around, and they were asking me a bunch of questions about how to get started with books and how I got started with books. And it really made me realize that one of the biggest myths of reselling is it's easy. Like, you watch all these videos, I'm not on TikTok, but like, I fall victim to it too. I see people post big sales numbers, crazy hauls, you know, everyone calls it passive income, and it's really none of that. Reselling is actually really hard. It's not, there's competition, Amazon changes the rules all the time, eBay is changing the rules with how you have to do listings and add all this stuff to listings. Like, it's a constant battle. Like, you constantly have to evolve and change. And I'm going through it now too, which is another reason why I wanted to make this video, with online arbitrage. And I'm really gonna like tell you like exactly how to get over like the frustration and how to stick with it, and kind of like the mindset you should have when starting a reselling business. So when I'm doing OA, I'm super frustrated. Like, let's be honest, like, this is very new to me. I did like kind of dabble and like take a course, but I didn't watch all the videos and stuff like that. But now like I'm running searches in tactical arbitrage and I'm not finding much. And it's frustrating. Like, right? Like, I can go through a Gaylord of books in an hour, find stuff that's super valuable on eBay, find stuff for Amazon, and like, it's awesome. But it's also taken me 3 years to get to this point. So a couple things here. So basically, I'd ask yourself, if you're struggling in your business or getting started with reselling, so number one, have you done any like research, watched any videos? So example, for me in the OA, right? I'm super frustrated, not really finding much. Probably a good idea for me, like, I learned from experience, but probably one of the best things right now, yes, you have to take action, yes, you have to learn from mistakes and buying stuff, but I should probably watch a couple videos about like how to best use tactical arbitrage, right? Because I kind of know, I kind of saw a video like a year ago. So like, it's really not fair to say that like OA doesn't work or it's frustrating, because I haven't really put much effort into learning about it. Like, I understand the concept, but like, it's really hard. Like, I know some people will go to like 3 or 4 thrift stores and say they don't find any books and that this whole thing's a scam, and it's like, yeah, but maybe if you went to the 4th one, like, that's where all the books are. Like, I can't tell you how many times I went to like to thrift stores or planned an hour or 2 trip and came back with 50 books and like wasted a whole day. So ask yourself if you're really putting in the work. So that's number one. I mean, number one, make sure like you kind of did some like homework or like you do some research. Number two is ask yourself, are you putting in the work? So for me, with OA, I was super frustrated. I know I made a couple like Sunday recap videos saying that like I'm gonna find OA products, but you know what? Like, I run a book business and there are a lot of changes with Amazon right now. So I had to implement a merchant fulfilled process. Still working through that. How, you know, to best work with the helper and the lister now that things have changed. But I can't be frustrated with OA because I'm not putting in the time, right? Like, I've been running searches in tactical arbitrage, but I haven't been reviewing the results. I'll sit down for like 5 to 10 minutes when I'm thinking about a million other things. Oh, I can't find anything. Like, you have to ask, like, am I putting in the time? So for example, this morning I was like, I really want to do TA. Or online arbitrage. So this morning, I got to the warehouse and I did it for 2 hours. Just sat there, went through all the results of the searches I started yesterday. And it was painful, like, cause like there's stuff out of stock, there's just frustrating things, items don't match. But like, I did find 2 things. Like, it took 2 hours, but I found 2 things that I think will sell like pretty much as soon as I get them listed. They're not replenishable, but like, I found like 2 things that I ordered 4 of each. I think they're coming on Friday, but I put in the work. I set aside 2 hours and was just like, you know what? I don't care. Like, if I really want to do this, I have to do it first thing in the morning because the day is going to get away from me and I'm just going to do what I normally do because it's comfortable. And you know what happened today? Nothing. The day pretty much went the same as it always went. Even though I did this for 2 hours, somehow I figured out to jam everything in and get everything else done. So, number 3 myth is you need so much time. So, I did just talk about not putting time in, but for online arbitrage, well, it will be different for you. But if you're trying to take on a new platform, right? So for me, online arbitrage, I don't need 8 hours a day. Like, I could do that, but like, I'm gonna ease into it. Like, if I was no longer doing books, yeah, I would do it for 8 hours a day. But be realistic with yourself. Like, right now, it's not practical for me to say I'm gonna do it 8 hours a day. I run a 6-figure book business and media business, like, and have 2 part-time people helping me. Like, it's just really not feasible right now. I do a YouTube video every day. So like, you gotta be honest with yourself, and like, I shouldn't be crushing online arbitrage if I just plan on doing it to dabble in it 2 hours a day. Like, I shouldn't. Like, that's just how it is. Eventually, yeah, if I do it for 2 hours every day, I'm gonna start to learn. I'm gonna start to get better with tactical arbitrage. Maybe I find some like replenishable products. You know, so, well, I would say there, like, try to jam in some stuff. Like, I should probably, you know, at night watch one of the course videos instead of maybe like trying to just relax and watch TV or just kind of like decompress from the day. So yeah, you gotta make time. You gotta, you know, be realistic with yourself. Like, if you work a full-time job, like, it's possible, yes, people do it all the time. It's possible to, you know, work 18 hours, 20 hours, but in the long run, it really isn't that sustainable, because I've been there, I've done that, and like, it usually doesn't end well after about, I don't know, 4 to 5 weeks. It really catches up to you. So that's number 3. And number 4 is basically, it's hard. I'm just gonna say that. It's not easy. That's how the video started. But if it was so easy and everyone could just go on their computer, go to Target or Walmart or whatever, your favorite site, buy something for $10 and then sell it for $30 on Amazon, everyone would do it. And that's the thing. Like, so my mindset, this is the best mindset you could have as a reseller. Basically, the best mindset to have is, it takes a lot of work, it's gonna be hard, but once you kind of get, like, master your craft, like, once, like, go to all these, when I was doing books, once I was going to all these stores, I was finding books, I was listing them, like, it was confusing, it was hard, like, it was just all over the place. But then once you get like listings squared away, like it's like, all right, like this is easy. Like now I just have to find more books. Oh, like, oh man, this is frustrating to find more places to find books. How can I do that? Like maybe I'll watch a video. How do other people find books? And then you find other ways, and it's confusing, it sucks. Like you try a bunch of ways, it doesn't work. But then eventually you find like profitable ways, sustainable ways to find books consistently. And then it gets easier. And then you're like, wow, I want to buy books in bulk. And then you take on that. It's just like a continual process of just like evolvement. And it just takes a lot of time, and it's hard work. And my mindset, so 2 other ways to look at it is like, I did today, I'll admit it, I'll be totally honest, it's like, oh, this OA, like, this is crazy. Like, I heard other people say, like, you know, the software doesn't give you good leads, and this and that, and not to do this. But you know what? Like, there are, I mean, who knows, maybe the numbers are fake or whatever. But I do know people who really crush it on OA. So, they're using tactical arbitrage. They're using other things, experimenting with other things. So, I mean, there's really no excuse, like, for books. Like, oh, it's so crowded, everyone's getting started, and this and that. And yeah, that might be true, but there are people who are very successful doing it. Whether you're established or not, like, it doesn't matter. Like, so I look at it as, one, there are other people that are doing this successfully, so there's no reason that I can't. And number 2, I don't want to be like everyone else who says, oh, TA doesn't work, the leads suck, this doesn't work, or who knows, maybe TA isn't the best, and like, but you can't say that after 2 days of, or a week of really not knowing how to use the software and not really knowing what to look for. So that is kind of what I want to get across to you today. One, the myth that reselling is easy. It's not. It's very hard. And I wish more people would talk about that. Like, oh, it's so, and I do that too. I'm like, oh, I sold this book for like $200. Everyone's like, oh my God, like that's amazing, I'm gonna sell books. But like, it took me like a year, 2 years to like be able to spot that book. From like researching on hours on eBay to like find stuff that wasn't a good fit, but like, oh man, if I ever see this book, like I should save it. And that's what it really takes. It's not just like, oh, I know all this stuff about books. It's like, no, like I accumulated this knowledge. And now I hope to do the same thing with online arbitrage, because I see it to be like a huge opportunity. Especially like, it's super frustrating. Like, it's really, really hard for me. Like, I run a very successful book business and media business, and you know, it took years to do that. And I still have like a lot to grow. I'm much smaller than a lot of other people, but I want to diversify into OA and almost add another arm, another quiver in my arsenal. And that's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to say it's impossible, because like when you start saying that, like then you start to think it, and then you start chasing all this other stuff. And you know what? I'm just going to stay focused, keep doing this, and who knows? If I can honestly stay after 30 to 40 days, if I did look and do online arbitrage for 2 hours every day, the first thing I did when I get there, that's a very big commitment. I don't know. I can at least do it for an hour. But if I could literally do it for an hour a day for, I would say 45 days, 45 to 60 days, and still can't figure it out, then yeah, maybe like it's not for me. Maybe I don't want to do it. Maybe the software isn't that great. But I highly doubt that to be the case, because when I started with books, it was the more thrift stores I went to, the more time I spent thrifting, the more I tended to find. So I really do think that's the issue. I just need to put more time. Today was the first basically 2 hour day that I put in to OA, and I plan to be consistent about it, at least do an hour, at least. And that's just not setting up a search and like just kind of I don't know, scrolling through it while watching Netflix or something. It's like legit doing it and figuring it out. And I feel like eventually I'm gonna look back at this video or be able to show you guys that, like, if you could put consistent effort towards something, then it is possible, especially like with all the competition out there. And I'm really looking forward to like making this happen. So with that being said, some takeaways. Realize reselling is hard. It looks real easy on Instagram. It looks real easy when you see screenshots. That's a good reason why I do not share my numbers a lot on Amazon, because it doesn't matter. I could Photoshop a chart for you guys and say that I'm doing all these numbers. It doesn't really matter. You don't know how much money this person's taking home. There's a lot of people now who are like taking on people's money and like almost using it as an investment. So not all that profit is even theirs after like the 20 or 30% that they're gonna make. So just realize that numbers don't matter and do your own thing. Realize it's hard. There are a lot of people you can reach out to for help. Just realize it is not as easy as scanning a product, buying 20 of them, sending it to Amazon, and just sitting back and collecting your passive income, because that's not at all what it's about. So if you really want to be a reseller, get started with Amazon, get started on eBay, Poshmark, or whatever else, realize it is a business, and running a business is hard, especially if you're going to do it by yourself, which you probably will when you're starting. If you have a partner, maybe a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, like maybe it's a little easier, but it's still going to be hard, especially when you're starting out. So just remember that. And I'm saying this so like you don't quit. Like I really hope that like someone watches this video either today or tomorrow or a year from now who's really frustrated like I am with online arbitrage and trying to find stuff, and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with it. And then hopefully they stick with it and it turns into something big and they can thank me one day, or they don't have to. But that is the big thing today, guys. Stay with it. Realize it is very hard work. Don't expect results overnight. And let me know what you think in the comments. How long have you been reselling? Do you think it's easy? It's hard? What are some of the obstacles you've had to overcome? Or if you're new, what are you struggling with? I'd love to try to help you. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And I will talk to you guys soon.